Have you ever thought, I'm so glad that God saved me and He gave me a new life and everything's changed, but there's a couple things that I really miss about my old life. There were some things that just don't ever do that. You can't look back. In Genesis chapter 19, Lot has moved to Sodom. And Sodom was a pretty wicked place. It's where we get the term sodomy. And two angels show up to warn him that the whole place is going to be destroyed. And he's sitting in the city gate where the politician sat. He was a high politician, probably a judge. And he welcomes them because he's really into tradition. And the tradition is when a visitor comes, you got to welcome them and give them everything. And so they say, well, we're going to sleep in the city square. And he knows if they do that, they're going to get raped incessantly by these sodomites. So he tells them to stay in his house, which they did. And that night, the men of Sodom, young and old, come and they say, hey, we want to have sex with these men, let them out. And they say, and Lot says no. And in fact, he says, you can have my daughters instead, my virgin daughters. When you hang around that kind of, muck and filth of the world, you're going to get that kind of morals too. Your morals are going to be all messed up, and they were. So these guys outside the door say, no, we're going to kill you if you don't send out these two visitors. And so the angels, who looked like just men, they struck the men blind and they say, you know what, Lot, you and your daughters and your wife, you got to get out right now. In fact, the Bible tells them this. Lot hesitated in verse 16. Lot still hesitated. He didn't want to quite leave yet. The angels seized his hand in the hands of his wife and his two daughters and rushed them to safety outside the city. And here's what their advice was. Don't stop anywhere in the valley and don't look back. They said, listen, we've got you out of the city. Now don't look back. Don't stop. Keep running. And you know what Lot's wife did? She turned around and she looked back. And she turned into a pillar of salt. When God has delivered you from some habit, something in your life, never, never look back. The Bible says in the New Testament, Paul had a guy who was helping him with the ministry named Demas, and he says later in the Bible, Demas has forsaken me, having loved this present world. Jesus said, once you've put your hand to the plow, if you look back, you're not fit for the kingdom of heaven. The book of Proverbs says, a fool returns to his folly just like a dog returns to his vomit. When God has delivered you from something in your life, you can never ever look back. In fact, we got to be like Lot or like Joseph, who when he was attacked by Potiphar's wife, he ran away. When the thought hits you, maybe I think about that again, run away from the thought, turn the channel and get a new thought in your brain. That's the only way we're going to make it in this world today.